Continuing from part 5, Miss Hills could not restrain her desire. If truly not understood, he knew this girl was peculiar, drank too much, and at night her delicate fingers touched the depths of his heart. On the other side, Hillis pulled him close, the two of them entangled on a small sofa, the air filled with the bitter scent of love. They remained like that until midnight. I truly cannot bear it in your arms. It's exhilarating, and I feel sharing my girl is wrong, but I fear hurting the whole world. I didn't expect Hillis to come closer. In reality, she wanted to hold him like this for a long time. Her eyes were full, her chest pressed against his back. I was a bit surprised and wanted to know if she wanted to do anything else. Whatever she wanted, she could. Hillis didn't say a word, just turned around and whispered to him. I remember thinking this was the end. Turns out, he had been like this before, enjoying Hillis' closeness, so now he was following suit. It's hard to say. Is he angry or uncomfortable? He really wants to say no, but today he doesn't want to continue, and he's not angry, right? And he can't know that Hillis is talking about the sixth life. She knows she's insane. When they first met, he used a cold tone. Even children had to run away. For a long time, in his head, it was chaotic. Axion blamed himself, promised Hillis it wouldn't happen again. I didn't expect Hillis to come closer, perform special tricks, though prepared, this form of punishment was too sweet. Early the next morning, Hillis finally overcame it. As predicted, Axion was good. Hillis stood up and left without saying a word. It seemed Hillis hadn't forgotten everything from last night. Reminding Hillis, next time, don't drink so much. What if next time you end up somewhere else? He didn't need to worry because after drinking, she only wanted to find him. Those words made Axion question himself. What is Hillis' destination? After that, Axion arrived at the entrance of the Four Seasons forest, waiting for Chris. As soon as he saw him, Axion immediately unleashed all his strength on Chris. Chris lost his guard and released his skills. He was facing his subordinate, but he worriedly approached. He was truly foolish. He shouted, "Don't care." Lost vigilance, Chris was dragged into the Four Seasons forest. Standing in front of Axion's coffin, he recalled the method to summon the king. Immediately, he sprinkled blood, but there was no response. Chris couldn't endure it. A man at his peak was caught, and as he was being strangled, he smelled a pleasant rose fragrance. Chris released a burst of ice. Axion's hand blocked the unpredictable situation. Immediately shifting behind Chris, Axion grabbed his head and plunged it straight into the coffin. The fresh blood drops fell into the coffin. As predicted, a golden explosion emanated from the coffin. The remaining images of the king truly appeared alive. Wanting to beat the descendants, sacrificing for him, he raised both hands, coldly looking at him and her, with no way to resist. Do you truly want to use it as a sacrifice? He didn't understand Hillis' entire plan. What is Hillis' desire? Unfortunately, he was too urgent to know the truth. But he didn't expect the truth to be so significant. Hillis wants to die because she has lived through 7 lifetimes. She has never truly died. This will be an eternal prisoner. Every word about Hillis touched and shattered fragments of memories in his mind. Along with the pain, the information here, Hillis asked him to act to end her life. He wasn't willing to do so. Thank you for always being willing to help me. Next time, don't help me anymore. With an emptiness in his heart, it must be painful, right? Axion walked away, and the bloodstains behind him instantly disappeared. The two stepped out of the Four Seasons forest. Axion didn't bother about the two of them. Chris stood there, still not understanding what had happened, with too many questions. Maybe he should have a heart-to-heart with his older brother. Transitioning to Hillis, she is currently seeking something sweet to ease her sorrow. Thinking that drinking alcohol would make it easy to fall asleep, but unexpectedly, something shameful happened. While thinking and getting angry, Axion's mother appeared somewhere. Hillis paid no attention to her and immediately finished her work here, giving up her seat to Axion's mother. The two went outside to confide in each other. Seeing Hillis like this, she looked very different from the Inoden household. Hillis involuntarily shared her thoughts, feeling jealous of her. I used to want to be like you, but maybe not now. And this candy truly has an unpleasant smell. This indirectly pointed straight to Axion's mother. The atmosphere immediately became tense. Fortunately, Axion's close servant appeared, preventing an unnecessary conflict between the two. Back at the Inoden mansion, Hillis is sitting, wondering why Axion's mother remembers her. Then, she hears noise from outside. Axion may have returned. But when she saw Axion, the streaks of blood on his shoulders, flowing on the floor. Seeing Hillis, a terrifying and unusually cold aura emanated from her. Axion felt Hillis' inner pain was immense. Recalling the words of the king, Hillis' eternal death is her desire, causing him great heartache. Hillis also had those thoughts. If she chooses eternal death, those who stay behind will also be hurt. Hillis told him, "We have to stop." But Axion doesn't want to. He wants to pursue to the end of the road with Hillis. No matter how painful it is, that is the only future he chooses. The fragments of memories are revealed once again. At the Burzet mansion, a guest arrives, Chris. The two leaders are discussing with each other. Then Hillis happens to pass by. Seeing Chris as prey, he immediately approaches Hillis, asking about her well-being. But those words fell on deaf ears for Hillis. Hillis immediately showed hostility, as she was not familiar with people like him. Axion saw that the situation didn't seem right, so he led her to another place to rest. Thinking about Axion's and Violeta's actions helped her. She truly appreciates and wants to thank the two of them. Just as she thought about it, Hillis encountered Axion intending to thank him for everything, but something prevented her from speaking. She then asked about Inoden's trial day. She also wants to participate on that day. Is it too much for her? Transitioning to the conversation between Axion and his mother. It was leaked that Diego truly didn't know he had fed his daughter Kaliasha's blood. And he was also deceived by the Kaliasha family. But the puppeteer turned out to be Axion's mother. Axion also doesn't know how to face it. Because this is his mother, torn between protecting and exposing. The truth gradually unfolds, Violeta gradually reveals everything. Everything at Kaliasha has been manipulated. Hillis being pulled into this story is also due to the Kaliasha family. But discovering Hillis was just a coincidence. Because of the encounter at that carriage. Hillis gradually understands everything. So, it was a sense of guilt that made her help, right? The deep gratitude in Hillis' heart is hard to express in words. The thoughts will become friends with Violeta. It's all just pity. Tears slowly fall along with Hillis' words of gratitude. So, it's the day of Inoden's judgment. However, an unexpected event occurred. Diego went mad. The power of Diego erupted terrifyingly. He looked like a dry zombie. As soon as he saw Hillis, he unleashed his abilities, causing the entire building to collapse. He smashed everything in his way, using a climbing rope to attack everyone. He tightened his grip on Hillis' neck. It's all because of you. Inoden is facing destruction today because of you. And those were the final memories of that day. Back to reality, worried about Axion's injuries. Suddenly, she senses Axion's aura in front of her. With the words spoken earlier, Axion is shattered. He just wants to be by Hillis' side, to enjoy the remaining journey together. Afraid that he may never see her face again. Seeing Axion's devastated appearance, that softens Hillis' heart. So, Hillis truly accepts Axion, even though she's not drunk at all. She accepts Axion planting that seed for her. A night that was both long and short. The two have become a couple. Early in the morning, they were affectionate with each other. Suddenly, they hear the maid calling. She wants to bring sweets for Hillis. However, when she enters, she can't help but be surprised at the scene. Looking at the dessert, Axion wants to feed Hillis. It's something Axion has wanted to do for a long time. The sight is truly excessively sweet. Back at the Burzet estate, Axion's close friend can't help but scold him for disappearing for so long. Just as he finishes speaking, he smells a familiar scent and understands everything. He reports to Axion about the meeting between his mother and Hillis, but he timely prevents things from getting worse. And there's another important piece of information: those spirit animals left these red crystals after death. Axion immediately sees the crystal and is sure it's related to the Kaliasha family. He teleports. When Axion arrives at Kaliasha, everyone mistakes him for Hillis because he carries Hillis' scent. Even Mako is confused. Without further ado, Axion visits the elder head of Kaliasha and shows her the crystals. When she sees the crystals, she predicts a stormy future. Looking at her current health, she estimates she won't live much longer. She entrusts Axion with the responsibility to protect what she cherishes after her death. And one more thing, a gift for Inoden, the Kaliasha family heirloom. She had a prophetic dream and insists that this must be given to Hillis. Seeing the heirloom, a hint of sorrow crosses Axion's mind. Transitioning to the Parvian family estate, a loud commotion ensues as the head of the Inoden clan arrives. However, instead of a normal visit, Hillis, without uttering a word, raises her hand to unleash her abilities, destroying the living room before the astonished eyes of Chris. Ignoring him, Hillis heads straight to the Parvian treasure chamber, using her powers to break the seal. Seeing this, Chris rushes to stop her. As he grabs her hand, she forcefully pulls away, ordering him to open the seal. Chris, unsure of what to say, complies. Upon seeing the treasure, Hillis immediately destroys the seal. Turning to Chris, she questions if he was the one who injured Axion. Observing Chris's reaction, she understands and releases her powers on his shoulder, warning him that any repetition will lead to a painful death. Returning to the Inoden estate, they simultaneously find two treasures. Upon meeting, they embrace each other. Axion brings a gift for Hillis, but a hint of sadness is visible in his eyes. Memories flash back, revealing a red-haired girl kneeling before her ancestor, the king of the Inoden clan. She only wished for a life where children and grandchildren could be born, but not eternal life. However, the response was a cold reality: no pain would be suffered upon their departure. Switching to Gabriel, she finds herself in a dark and empty place, triggering memories of someone she can't recall. Suddenly, a voice speaks her name, Gabriel Inoden. However, her face contorts in fear upon seeing the person, who turns out to be Axion. Even though Axion has never harmed Gabriel, her terrified reaction is due to memories resurfacing. Axion threatens her, demanding her to reveal the culprit behind Mako Kalish's death, or face excruciating death. In a flash, it's the day of the hunting festival, with people buzzing about upcoming events. However, a more interesting development unfolds between Axion and Hillis. Hillis tells Axion that she wants to go to the beach but secretly intends to take Mako there to fulfill his last wish. Axion seems jealous, and with a kiss, surprising everyone. During the festival, Hillis seizes the opportunity to go to the Four Seasons forest. She sacrifices her blood to summon the king. Upon seeing King, Hillis attacks, but Hillis' attacks have no effect as it's just an illusion. Hillis only wanted to confirm a few things for her amusement. The king advises her to collect everything, as fulfilling her wishes would also fulfill her. As per the recorded information, a total of 19 miracles are scattered everywhere, including this location. Reflecting on the king's words and the breathtaking scenery, Hillis sighs, feeling utterly exhausted. Back at the party, Violetta is receiving guests. Moments later she saw Terzo, one of his sworn enemies. They also targeted Violetta. A group of noble people with no special abilities and are only average. The two people were already fighting each other. Each word was like stabbing each other. A cold mist came from somewhere, it was Chris. As soon as she saw Chris, Violetta couldn't believe her eyes with this power. These were definitely Kaliasha's tears. Because among the four families, no one can make their powers stronger. Except for the Inoden clan, which in spring can bloom to awaken its power. This is no different from a preemptive attack from Terzo. Violetta saw that the situation did not look good and immediately went to find Axion. Meanwhile, Axion is summing up everything is controlled by Terzo alone. So the two met each other. Violetta asks him to teleport her back to Kaliasha. But Axion immediately refused. But there is a familiar scent somewhere. Hillis suddenly appeared. So this part is over again. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Peace.